I have made a lot out of a can of chickpeas, and it probably is starting to feel like nothing else could be made. I would argue that you're wrong. Growing up, I loved cereal. One of my favorite things. There's a lot of different cereals that I really enjoyed, but one of my all-time favorites, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Crispy, sweet cinnamon and rice cereal coated in a cinnadust, which then makes a cinnamilk. It doesn't get better. But can we make that from chickpeas? Let's find out. First, we're gonna make a basic version, simple as you can get. Then I'm gonna dive into replicating the Cinnamon Toast Crunch that you all know, and then we'll get Monica to give it a taste test. First up, we need our can of chickpeas. Now, I know this isn't a can. If you've been watching, I recently ranked every can of chickpeas I could find, and I had a lot of leftovers, so we're gonna be using those first. A can of chickpeas is about 1.5 cups of chickpeas, so we're gonna pull those out, set them aside, and then save some aquafaba. Now, aquafaba is the liquid in a can of chickpeas. If you've never seen this used, it's a pretty incredible liquid loaded with different fibers and stuff. It's very viscous, very egg-like, and works as a really great egg replacement. So I'm just gonna rinse these, then dry them off, and then make our cinnamon sugar seasoning. Now, when I'm running these through the towel, what's gonna happen is some of the skins are gonna come off. For this particular version, I'm not gonna go crazy removing all the skins. It's gonna make a better texture in the end, but again, this version is just gonna be just a test. Now for our cinnamon and sugar, very simple mixture. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, plus an extra teaspoon actually, along with 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. I'm also gonna give this the tiniest little pinch of salt. Mix this up until we have a nice even blend. Now, anytime I'm making something that's gonna be like a coating, we wanna do a little bit of cornstarch. It's gonna kind of help this be a little bit more evenly distributed, help the cinnamon stick to the sugar, and then also kind of help this whole mixture stick to the chickpeas. One of the biggest comments I always get anytime I make anything sweet is, wow, that's too much sugar. If it's too much sugar for you, use less. That's the great thing about a recipe is you get to modify it how you like. You don't have to follow my instructions exactly. If you think it's too much sugar, you get to use less. You can make that decision. It's not too much sugar for me, and if it was, obviously, I would choose to use less. So I'm gonna add a good amount of this to a bowl, toss in my chickpeas, and then let's give these a toss. Now we're not going for a full coating just yet. This is just for the initial cook. I'm gonna drop this onto my air fryer rack. Everybody's air fryer rack is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna toss this into my air fryer, 350 degrees, 20 minutes. That's gonna be the initial bake, which is plenty of time for today's sponsor. So I struggled my whole life to get into shape and to lose weight. And I believe the thing that finally broke for me is when I stopped focusing on the weight loss and I started focusing on being healthy. To do that, I became incredibly active, I cut out overly processed foods, and I started creating daily habits of complementing my diet and lifestyle with what I felt was necessary. And that's when I found Complement. Complement is about empowering you to make your own decisions for your health with tools, superfoods, resources, and nutrients to help build a system that fits your goals. You can actually head to their website linked below and take their quiz. It only takes a few minutes and they will give you evidence-based and expert-backed guidance on what you might need to complement your lifestyle. For me, being overly active, I take the Complement Protein, Complement Creatine, and Complement Essential, which is the ultimate multivitamin for plant-based eaters. It includes nutrients like B12, D3, iodine, K2, zinc, magnesium, and DHA, EPA, and more. And recently, I've been telling you about their daily greens. I really love this stuff. This is a greens superfood mix that focuses on getting the right dosage of a few powerhouse ingredients instead of adding 75 green ingredients at inefficient levels. Everything they have is 100% vegan, triple tested to ensure potency, purity, and transparency. They even publish their third-party test results on their site for everyone to see. And if you're not happy for any reason, they offer a 100-day guarantee on all orders. So whether you're an athlete, parent, health nut, or somewhere in between, Complement is here to help support your healthy lifestyle. So gang, click the link below to get 15% off everything I mentioned here and more. Complement, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for complimenting my new healthy life. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Our chickpeas look pretty good, but I know they're not done. They're still pretty soft. They still have some time to go. So I will say there's still a decent amount of cinnamon and sugar on here, but a lot of it did, you can see little pockets to where it melted away. I'm gonna add some more cinnamon and sugar to this. Some of it's just getting lost in the process. It'll be okay. That's all I wanna say, is it'll be okay. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take these hot chickpeas coated in sticky cinnamon and sugar. Walker's coming over because oh, no. I don't want you to have that. I'm sorry, Bubby. I'm gonna take a little bit of the aquafaba, just give it a little splash. Walker's walking around while this is still hot. Coat in a little bit more cinnamon sugar. Gonna move the camera so you can actually see it. Then we're gonna put this right back onto our cooking rack. Toss them back in the air fryer and cook for another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, let's say 15 minutes. And then they should be perfect. While those are cooking, we need some plant-based milk. I don't have any right now. Typically I have a decent amount made, so let's just make some real quick. I have my almond cow, but this could be done in a blender with a strainer. So this recipe is just incredibly simple. We have our little recipe basket here, but again, if you could just use a blender, but we're just gonna use about 1/2 of a cup of almonds, a little pinch of salt because these are unsalted almonds. If you get salted almonds, roasted salted, then you don't need to add any salt. I'm gonna drop in the tiniest little touch of vanilla and about 1.5 pitted dates. I'm gonna chop these up. Now, the dates aren't necessary. I mean, really, you could just go with the almonds and water and be fine, but I want this to be a little flavored. And then 5 cups of cold water. Now, if you were doing this, you would do it in a blender. You could do it a little bit different ratio, just so that way your blender doesn't overflow, but you would still use the same amount of ingredients with a little bit less water, and then add the water after it's blended. But this makes about 5 cups plant-based milk. Pretty incredible. It's on, push the button, and then we're ready to roll. These are done, pull them out of the oven. They're still pretty hot. We're gonna toss them into a large bowl, and then I'm just gonna add the remainder of the cinnamon and sugar. Some of these chickpeas are still a little sticky from the sticky sugar that's just got melted, so it's gonna help the rest of this cinnamon sugar stick to it, but these are crunchy. Now I will say, really crunchy. This is a good snack. Do I think it's a good Cinnamon Toast Crunch replacement? I mean, it seems to hold up in the milk. I'm gonna give them a taste. Okay, so I'll say, yeah, it holds up pretty good. Is it Cinnamon Crunch though? No. I think we can really replicate Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So that's what I want to do. Let's do that next. These are good though. So to replicate Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of a can of chickpeas, we're gonna start with our cinnamon and sugar mixture. Again, same mixture, we're gonna do the same thing. Cinnamon, sugar, a little bit of salt, and cornstarch. Let's mix this up. Perfect. We'll set that aside, and now let's get our chickpeas. We're gonna do the same thing, 1.5 cups of chickpeas that we need. Now I'm gonna do this in a food processor. You can mix this by hand. So I'm gonna start by adding my chickpeas. Not gonna drain or rinse them or do anything with them, along with 1.25 cup of bread flour. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons coconut oil. I'm out of my regular cinnamon, so we're gonna use our Ceylon cinnamon, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm gonna do about 1/2 teaspoon. And now all we're gonna do is just pulse this. Now I'm gonna have my aquafaba liquid here set to the side. As we're pulsing this, kind of wanna see how the texture of the dough is coming along. This should be a very soft, workable dough. We could just add more aquafaba in to get that dough to the right consistency. This is actually looking perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna add a decent amount of flour to my work surface because, I'll be honest, kind of went a little bit too over on the softness here. So we're gonna dump this out and see if we can kind of work it back into a solid dough ball here. So I'm gonna just keep kneading, and I'll tell you, I think this is gonna be perfect. And right off the bat, I'm already loving flaky this is. All we need to do now is we're gonna cut this in half. Set this half aside. Let's get this into a ball, and then we're gonna roll this out thin. And I'm talking real thin, 1/8 of an inch thin, about thickness of 1/4. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. At this point, I'm gonna try to brush away some of this excess flour here. So all we're gonna be doing now, giving this whole thing a light brushing with our aquafaba. It's gonna thicken up some of that flour that's sitting on top, and take my cinnamon sugar mixture and about half of it, spread out, and then press. I'm actually gonna press down into the little crackers here, just to make sure that sugar is kind of pressed into the dough. It needs to be a part of it. Can't be like on top of it. Now I would say Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably 1/2-inch squares. So we're gonna do our best to do that. Little 1/2-inch squares. If I had a pizza cutter, man, that would make this ideal. Now I have my oven preheating for 350 degrees. Once I get these squares all cut out, we're gonna toss them onto a baking sheet and bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're just gonna have to check on them. I don't know, this is a test. So I'm actually gonna do the second one a little separate. I'm gonna roll it out, throw it onto the parchment paper, and then cut it. Make it a little bit easier to transfer over. The other one took a little bit of time to transfer. And instead of brushing it with the aquafaba and then cinnamoning, I'm gonna throw the cinnamon sugar mixture right on and press it in without wetting it. I wanna see if maybe I can cook it just a hair longer and end up with maybe a crispier cinnamon toast crunch. So at this point, they're both done. The wet one was baked for 15 minutes. The dry one was baked for 19 minutes. Let's see which one Monica likes, and then we'll try them out as a cereal. Kind of excited about this test. Did you have Cinnamon Toast Crunch growing up?
I did.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things.
So good.
I loved Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Here's our Cinnamon Toast Crunch chickpeas. Do you want to give one of these a try?
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah, this is a good snack. I tried it as cereal, and I thought it came out pretty good. But I made two similar but different versions.
Okay.
I'm gonna test to see which one you think represents Cinnamon Toast Crunch a little better, and then we'll try them as a cereal.
Oh, okay.
A Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I mean, just look at how perfect.
Should I pick a different one?
What do you mean?
Like this one's not, like it's just regular. It's not like burnt or pillowy or anything like that.
Well, flip it over, flip it over.
Oh, okay, look at that. Oh
Yeah.
my God, there's more to it. Okay,
cheers.
Very
good.
close of what I remember Cinnamon Toast Crunch tasting like.
So, I mean, I'll say it's not as sweet. And I feel like it would be like if you were to get like the healthy version, that's what this tastes like. Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes a little bit better to me.
Really good.
Let's drive into this one. Cheers.
I need a different piece. Hold on. Let me try this.
Cheers.
This one is softer.
It's a little softer, yeah.
Is
It
that
didn't firm
normal?
up.
I mean, this one I think is better. I don't know. Like, I can't remember.
Try this one, try this one.
That one's good. I can't 100% remember exactly what Cinnamon Toast Crunch tasted like, but if I had to choose one that I would think it would resemble more, it would be this one.
Okay. Do you like that one more?
Oh my
Which one
God.
do you like more?
I like this one more.
You like that one more? Okay. So this one, it seems like wetting them down and baking them, they actually do come out surprisingly a little crispier.
Yeah.
Not what I would have thought. Okay. Yeah. This one did not come out as crunchy. I don't know why. Okay.
It looks like it's gonna crunch and then it doesn't.
It doesn't. I know. Let's make a bowl of cereal. I'm pretty happy about. I mean, that looks like a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Should I dig in?
Yeah, let's dig in. Let's see. Does this work like a cereal?
It works.
It's great.
Amazing.
It does kind of taste like your healthy Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay. Yeah.
Give it a
Tastes
rundown.
good to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really does.
It's sweet. It's crunchy. Little pieces of cinnamon toast. I love it. It's not like I'm like, oh, this is the healthy version. Like that, when you're saying that, I mean, maybe it is.
I mean, now that it's in the milk, the crunch and everything, the sweetness, it all shines through like a lot more.
This tastes great to me.
Yeah, you're right. Like I'm good with this. Maybe it's not the healthy version. Maybe it's just the
I mean, it's good.
far less fat, far less saturated fat, less sugars. I know it probably doesn't seem like it, but it truly is less sugars. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah, I love this.
I am happy about that.
Yeah.
Let me know if there's any other cereals that you would like me to make out of chickpeas. I have a few that I'm going to be making coming up, but I'd love to know what you think.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
I mean, I'm going to finish this.